With the beacons of light and the idea of creating families of parishes versus everybody stand alone, I think the idea of the resources that the Archdiocese has and every parish has to combine parishes just makes sense. Before church was built in 1917, they traveled less, so they were really close to their parishes. Now people can drive 20 minutes to any dozens of churches practically.
Looking at the church sizes down and what they used to be and the manpower they needed, things are different. They were better together than apart. Not only the human capital that is involved in that, but we can also utilize the talents of all the people.
The way that I usually describe Beacons of Light is that it is the archdiocesan pastoral planning process to be able to really increase actually the vibrancy of the Catholic presence here in Cincinnati. And I think that what you can really see is that is starting to really happen, certainly in our family. We've been able to see growth in both St. Cecilia and in St. Mary. The strengths that we have, again, have been continually able to come together and just feed off of each other.
But I tend to think of the church as a rock. A rock doesn't change, it's stable, but on the other hand, we're also talking reality, and it has to reflect the times and be open to the people needs at the time, because not everybody's needs are always the same year after year after year.
How the Beacons of Light and all the merging of the parishes has affected me is I've had to figure out what's my priorities. What is it that I need to be doing? And I realize right off the bat that you can't lead if you're not present. And so I try really hard to make sure I'm present to all my direct reports, especially, and present to the people as much as I can. So festivals, there's, the picnics, all these things, you have to be present for. And certainly if you invite them all to it, there's strength in that too.
We've really started to realize as Beacons of Light has continued to transpire that we are able to fully accompany any person, whether they are a young person just out of college, again, who's coming into those 20s and 30s years, or who is, retired and looking for a way to continue to stay active.
Realizing that one of the things that we did was, as young adult coordinators, a lot of events were just for young adults. Well, the older people started saying, like, well, what about for us? They thought those events were really cool. They really liked the idea of being a part of those, and Candlelight Mass included. That started here with the diocese, and we continue to keep it, and brings a lot of other people together, and they get to know these young adults as well.
When I started my journey as the coordinator of young adult ministry, I had a very experimental idea. The idea was to have a speed dating event.
Speed what? For a Catholic church? Are you kidding me? But it's marvelous. It's a marvelous idea. It's kind of off the wall. It gets people involved. See, that's the thing, the involvement. You meet people.
We are entirely dependent upon the parishioners and their generosity of spirit. Many people may not know this, but in the East Side Catholics, we actually fully subsidize all of our different programs that are sacramental preparation. Everything is fully subsidized by those dollars that are coming from our parishioners. When you're contributing every week to the basket, you're not just making sure that the lights stay on, the person who is helping you at the front desk gets paid, but you're also making sure that 30 plus individuals each year can actually come into the church to be able to impact generations of Catholics to come.
And in my role as deacon, for baptisms, weddings, funerals, I see a lot of out of town people. And when they come in and see this church, many of them are just awed by the beauty of this. And it didn't get that way from somebody saying, well, they have enough money, I don't need to contribute anymore. There's been a lot of sacrifice by past parishioners. So when I donate now, it might not be to keep this, to build new, but it's going to keep this up.
There's many positions that are unfilled because we can't afford them, and they are critical. You talk about development, you talk about youth ministry, all these critical people that assist some of our full-time employees. We don't have the infrastructure that we need to be the church that could really go to full bloom.
We'd love to see more opportunities for our youth to get involved with the church. Children's faith formation here is something that is undergoing a lot of conversation, is one of the things that I'm most excited for and the potential that we have for the future. And a huge part of that is going to be potentially youth ministry.
In this world where what you say goes for you and that's okay, and what you say what goes for me is okay, there are some certitudes that people don't always understand. And the Catholic Church has some moral guides that say don't do that, it's not good for you. And I think some people recognize that and like to support some kind of stance against the world's wishy-washy, anything goes kind of thing.
Part of ministry is just being there, is getting involved in the community, going to a donut Sunday, going to a festival, getting involved in that, being in the midst of people, because you can't do it alone. You can't walk this Christian journey alone. You need God, you need others. And so if you form those relationships, which is so critically important in this day and age when you have a world that's constantly telling you to do something different, you need that support. And to have like-minded people and to help like-minded people get closer to the Lord, there's nothing better to live for.